On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
I think there may be a misunderstanding about what traditional is. Because if I'm thinking traditional, you wouldn't even be wearing what you're wearing right now on this show. You would not be talking the way you talk. You wouldn't be calling your wife a chick. You wouldn't be doing these things if you were a
What do
traditional
that have to do with
man.
Traditional is values. It's values. It's your values. Does he feel like he needs to take care of home because he's the man? Yes, that's traditional. It has nothing to wear a hoodie.
Oh, okay.
That's not.
JR, you can go ahead, man.
Traditional is your values. Does he feel like his woman is the weaker vessel and that he's her covering?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Because that's traditional values. They ain't got nothing to do with wearing.
Okay, marrying the wrong person for the wrong reasons. Are women destroying the image of marriage?
I definitely think that, and you already know, yes, I think that people often marry people for the wrong reason. I think tons of women feel pressure to be wives. So they just end up getting married, having kids, doing all these things really young, just because that is the thing that society is telling them they need to do. And that's why I feel like divorce rates are so high. I really do feel like there needs to be much more vetting of your partner. I really do think that you need to get to know yourself a little bit more before you try to bring someone into your life to work cooperatively with. So yeah, like the image of marriage is just out of control at this point. It's more about the being able to say, oh, I'm married, versus knowing the hard work that it takes to have a marriage that lasts forever, versus knowing that having kids with somebody is an even bigger commitment than being married to somebody. Like, all of these things go hand in hand. And I really think that people have to be much more intentional, because the image of marriage is just, in my opinion, is not what it should be.
I have a question. So, okay. Do you think that women are destroying the image of marriage?
I literally just said yes.
Okay. But the reason why you're saying that is because you think that we need to get married younger at age?
No. I said that the image of marriage is destroyed in general. So yeah, women too, as well as men. Like, the image of marriage, in my opinion, is destroyed. People are marrying for the wrong reasons. People are getting married too young just to be able to be like, look, I got a ring, I'm married. Not realizing all the hard work that it takes, not realizing that this is not the same as the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, not realizing that society is totally different than it was back then during maybe our grandparents or our great grandparents' time. Not taking into consideration all these things, just saying, you know what, I'm a woman, I need to be married, let me get married, have a kid, or whatever the case may be. And that's just not how it needs to be. And I feel like that is what contributes to a lot of divorces. The fact that people do not take the time to get to know themselves first and then get to know the person that they're trying to marry. People just are so excited that somebody wants to marry them that they're just like, oh, okay, cool. And then 8 years later, they're divorced. And it's like, there's a lot of hard work that it takes for a marriage to last forever. Forever is a long time, through the ups and downs, through everything. And honestly, most people just aren't cut out for that. Most people have not seen a good example of that in front of them. Most people just don't have the mindset to make that work. And I think that, things have to change in terms of the way people even view marriage. So yeah, like, the image of marriage is not.
That's why I'm asking, because I'm saying, what are women specifically doing to destroy the image of marriage?
Again,
because
getting married.
I'm talking about specifically, what are women doing?
I answered this. I said getting married just for the fact of being married. Just saying, ooh, I'm supposed to be a wife. Okay. And then marrying whoever, not doing enough vetting, not knowing themselves enough. These are all things I've already said, but I'm reiterating. Just jumping into a marriage because that's what society or whoever says that you need to do. Our day and age is a lot different than our grandparents or our great grandparents. Sorry. So there's a lot that needs to be considered before saying, you know what, I want to be with this person forever. So if a woman's just like so excited to have a ring to show her friends, or to be able to tell somebody, ooh, I'm married, or ooh, I'm engaged, and not thinking about how hard it is to keep up a relationship with another person forever, like it's not going to be successful. And we see that in these results. We see how many people get divorced. We see how many people are raised in single parent homes. We see this every day. So it's not going the right way. And the things that people have been doing aren't working. Even the things that people were doing in the times we wanted to glamorize weren't necessarily working, but circumstances were different back then where you had to stay in that marriage. So we just gotta be more focused, figure out what's going on with ourselves, figure out who we can get to be in a relationship that we can work with cooperatively, build a family, stack resources, think about the future. There's just a lot that needs to happen in terms of marriages. And I think too many people look at it on the surface without thinking about it fully.
Do you think we need to go back to what our grandparents did?
What did they do?
Stayed.
In my opinion, the only thing that should end a marriage is abuse. I think that if you're being abused, you should leave a marriage. I understand that some people leave marriages, they're not happy, whatever. But for me, if I'm marrying someone, that means all the vetting has been done. I don't believe in jumping into any situation with someone and being like, oh, we're married now. No, there has to be vetting. There has to be making sure that things are going to last forever, because once we're married, that's it. There is no get a divorce. And it's just not going to happen. So with that being said, if you look at it that way, I feel like you're more intentional. Just like with reproduction, I'm not going to get an abortion, so I had to be very intentional about not getting pregnant. If you are not getting a divorce, you have to be very intentional with who you're marrying and when you're getting married and all of these things. So no, I don't necessarily think we need to go back. Times are different. Things are just completely different. And I don't even think it's comparable. But we we have to do better in this area. Men and women, we got to work together towards common goals. We have to understand that we can't just think about right now. We can't just think about, oh, I'm happy and blah, blah, blah. We have to think about like future generations. Like that's the only way this is going to get better for Black people in general. We can't keep moving day to day. Yeah. Like that's not going to work forever.
Well, I agree. I think we need to also be more specific and pinpoint the issues to come with a resolve. So when I hear about our women destroying the image of marriage, I'm going to say yes, but I'm not going to say yes because we feel like we need to get married young and that's the issue. And no, I think it's a lot more than that. I think if I was a man, I'd be scared to get married in this time and age, especially with women that are champion and saying, I don't need a man. When men want to be needed, then I'm going to have pause on wanting to marry a woman that says she don't need me, but I'm a man that innately wants to be needed because I'm the leader.
You know what? Go ahead. I'll say it after you're done.
Okay. I think it's a problem when men hear that women want to say, yes, I want to partner with you. And men are saying, well, because I'm a leader, I don't need you to partner with me. I need you to be submissive to me. And I need you to understand that I'm your covering because women are the weaker vessel. And that's what I need you to be. and you're telling me you want to partner with me, which means you want to be the CEO and me be the CEO, that ain't gonna work. So yeah, I would have a problem as far as if I'm a man and wanting to get married. Shoot, I would have a problem with a woman saying, yeah, I want to marry you because I love you. And as a man, I would be like, well, you love me, but if you feel like you can't stand me or hate me, like Anton said before, are you going to leave me? Because right now, when I see the stats, that means that you are going to leave me. So women are saying these things and they don't know that it's scaring men off. It's scaring men off because all these things are not letting the man be the man. It's letting us partner with them and want to be the man like them. Why they want to marry something that don't, why they want to marry a woman that don't want them or don't need them? I just want you like I want her.
I don't know if all men have that problem.
You know what? I think they do. That's why they're not marrying us.
They are. Most Black men marry Black women.
Well, most Black women aren't married.
Most Black men aren't married. I mean,
you're not married. It's a reason. Black men want to marry, and they want to marry Black women. They just need something to marry. And the rhetoric that we're giving Black men, telling them that we don't need them, telling them that I just love you, and they like, no, because your love it's conditional. That's the issue.
Have you ever told a man you don't need him?
I have before, yes.
Like in recent, not like
not recent. No, I know better because I know I need a man. Because I know I can't live this life without a man. So no, but beforehand, yeah, I had told him, man, I don't need you. I'm strong, independent, which are all lies.
So, the thing I was about to say earlier, but I didn't want to cut you off, was that a lot of people talk about this thing that women say where they're like, oh, I don't need a man. I mean, I'm not going to say that women don't say that. Of course, there are women that say that, I'm sure. But
it's not.
I mean, I'm not going to say the majority of women say they don't need a man. But I think that in terms of us coming together, us working together, us building for the future, things like that, there's work to be done from women and men. Earlier, you said men have been traditional and they're still traditional, right?
That's correct.
What did you mean by that exactly?
Yeah, men have always held a traditional role as far as being leaders. They have always wanted to be the providers of the household. They've always wanted to take care of their wives. That's never changed. To this day, if you find a good man or any man, they will tell you, yes, my role is to provide, to lead. Women before, we championed that. Yes, I need my man. I want him to be the head of my household. Now we're like, I don't need him and I'll be the head of my household. And I can want him, take him, leave him, whatever. We've changed, not the man. The man has been consistent. Women have not. And this goes into our education. This goes into money. Because we're so highly educated and think we're making so much money, which in essence we're not because we're still making less than the Black man. But we're
$4,000.
All right, final point, Shaw. Go ahead, final point, Kay.
Yeah, Black women are making less. I mean, women generally make less than men in general. I think according to the website that everyone loves, Black demographics is like $5,000 less or something like that. Which, okay, but I wouldn't say that men today are traditional men. Like, these are modern men, just like there are modern women.
How have they changed?
So wait. So let me ask you a question. Do you just to speak to your point? Do you consider me a traditional guy?
No.
How don't you consider me a traditional guy?
You're not about to be singing doo-wop songs on the corner because you allegedly don't even think about love when it comes to your wife.
Oh,
so that's not
really?
What's not traditional?
It's a business deal. It was a business deal. You said that.
It wasn't
That's
a business
traditional.
deal. It wasn't a business deal. Marriage, the idea behind marriage is a business contract. You have to get a marriage license. You have to go before a judge before you divorced. You have to split resources if you decide to get divorced. And we have to involve family court when it comes to children. You have to take vows before witnesses.
Question.
But wait.
Question.
The idea behind marriage is a business, but that has nothing to do with me being a traditional guy in general. So the question
This
just
is the
did.
thing.
Hold on, wait. Let me just finish the question. The question
Go ahead.
is, even if you want to take out of context the idea behind me being married, just as a person, do you consider me a traditional type of guy when it comes to how I look at life, think about things, and the way I operate within society?
No, you're a modern
Okay, how?
man, and that's okay. You're a successful man. You do what needs to be done. I mean,
No, he's not. He's traditional.
All
How?
right, y'all.
so I think there may be a misunderstanding about what traditional is. Because if I'm thinking traditional, you wouldn't even be wearing what you're wearing right now on this show. You would not be
What?
talking the way you talk. You wouldn't be calling your wife a chick. You wouldn't be doing these things if you were a
What do that have to
traditional
do with-
man.
Traditional is values. It's values. It's your values. Does he feel like he needs to take care of home because he's the man? Yes, that's traditional. It has nothing to wear a hoodie. Time.
Oh, okay.
That's not
JR, you can go ahead, man.
traditional. Is your
Go ahead, JR.
values. Does he feel like his woman is the weaker vessel and that he's her covering?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Because
Don't
that's
worry about it.
traditional values. They ain't got nothing to do with wearing.
I mean,
Well, it kinda
y'all are getting
sounds
real
like-
biblical in here.
Yeah.
It
Go
ain't.
Listen, we all know.
ahead.
We know. We know who Kay is, and Kay is a person that perfectly understands the question, why you asked the question, the context behind the question. But Kay will go off the deep end and address something completely unrelated to what we talking about. I'll say, do you think I'm traditional, right? Traditional, for example, means the idea that
Multiple
ways.
You stopped me the first time.
she goes into my lingo, my hoodie. What are we talking about, bro?
But what was the first thing I said? What was the first thing I said, though?
God,
You're coming
bro.
to those examples, but the first thing I said was that you said love was not a factor when you married your wife. I'm not. My grandpa loves my grandma. Like that's true. They have a
He loves
traditional
her
marriage.
now. He loves her now, and traditionally, it was creating.
Courtney, you're not gonna tell me. Courtney, you're not gonna tell me what my grandpa does. My grandpa been
Maybe
loved
you
my
need to talk to him again.
No, that's
All
my
right, JR.
No, it's good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Oh, y'all gotta
It's all
y'all gotta Tylenol over there or something, bro. Jesus Christ, bro.